Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 2 of the My Team Career Mode here. We're getting right into it here with the activities, just trying to see what we're gonna do. Gonna do some simulator training. Now I'm just checking out the R&D table here. Nothing we can do in aerodynamics. We are gonna be able to do a chassis upgrade though. And that's gonna be it. So last episode was a tough result, P20. In Bahrain. And I felt like we could have definitely done better, but there's stuff we needed to learn. And we'll learn off of that heading into Saudi Arabia, which, from what I've seen, a lot of people who do My Team Career Modes have had a lot of luck here. We're just checking around everything here in the HUD. Just a couple of customization things that were unlocked, and yeah. So now we're heading into the Pirelli hot lap here around Saudi Arabia, doing an average speed here. This takes place right out of the end, or right at the end of the first sector. And we get underway here. These supercars sound really good. Down into the hairpin. Down to third gear, down to second. You can hear the car just sliding, just screaming, drifting it on the exit of the corner, and back onto the line. And it's we're gonna get goal here on the first attempt. So now we're heading into the race weekend here around Saudi Arabia, heading into practice one. We're just gonna do quick practice, for the majority of the season. And now here we are on Saturday for qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We're going to be heading out for our first lap, coming out right behind George Russell in the Mercedes. Obviously, we know tires on this game, very hard to heat up. Which is why we're going to back off from George Russell and just kind of work on getting heat in the tires. So here we are now, starting the lap around Saudi Arabia here in Q1, our first attempt at a lap here. We head down into turn 1, on the brakes, down to second gear, a little bit too early on the turn in. Right on the exit curve down, out of tune. That's how we head into the winding F section, down to fourth gear on entry, right on the curbing. A little bit wide there, but so far not too bad. We run it wide again. Aggressive on that curbing there. But so far not a bad lap. We head on into the hairpin now. They remove the DRS range there. We go through the hairpin, we're gonna spin it. We go around in the hairpin trying to get out of everyone's way. We do get it back going. But that has just ruined this first round. But even though that happened, we are going right back out for another attempt here on the same set of tires. We are not even changing them here, going for a second lap around Saudi Arabia. So here we are starting our second attempt at a lap around the Jeddah Coney circuit. Just gotta be smart. We came out behind the Mercedes again. Down into braking zone for turn 1. We get through there a lot better than we did our first attempt. Run wide again, right out to the barriers. And now here we go, down into the corner, down to fourth gear, right on the curbing. Oh, just had to kind of turn to avoid the barrier. Really going aggressive here. Lift off. Aggressive on the curbing, we get through there pretty well. As we head off into the hairpin, trying not to make the same mistake we made last attempt on a lap. Right out to the barrier, or not out to the barrier. Now just gotta be smart with how we place the car here. Down into the braking zone, down to fourth gear. Very good on the exit, but we're gonna get sideways. Big save there. Got very close to ending that lap in the barrier. DRS now deployed for the first time this lap. So far, not a bad lap. Really aggressive on the curbing again. Just trying to hold on to this. DRS now deployed. Down this back straight, heading into the final corner now, which is the tight hairpin that kind of closes off. We go way deep. And now the run up to the line. We are gonna go P19. Not a great lap, but remember, we are on old tires. Piastri currently P18. Here we go for a third and final run of the session with about a minute left. We jump in behind Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes, just trying to get a little bit of a tow here down the main straight to start the lap now. Heading down into turn 1, we're a little bit early on the brakes. Hamilton up ahead of us misses the corner. We're down 2/10, but get a way better exit than our first lap. But we're still down over a 10th as we now head through the S's in way too deep. But we're just a lot smoother here on the steering. And we're gonna run a little bit wide there, but nothing too bad. Run a little bit wide again, but we are just under 2/10 up on our first lap already. We are half a second up on Piastri, though. Out of the hairpin now, just kind of trying to hold a lap here. We going way too deep. Forced to cut the corner. We get into the barrier bit, pick up a little bit of damage to the front wing, but we've got to hold on to this. We are a second up on our lap time. Down into the braking zone now. 8/10 up on Piastri. We are on a good lap trying to beat our teammate here. DRS now deployed for the run down into the final corner. Down into the final corner we go now. Still going deep, but we get a tight on the exit. And down the main straight, DRS deployed. And it's going to be P9 here as as the time expires. We're gonna back off and just let people through. Bottas, though, is not gonna let us. We're trying to let him let the Alfa Romeo through. There he goes. We got, I don't know what that is. We're just gonna let Magnussen and Bottas, Norris, and Gasly by, and just get back onto the track. And we clipped our teammate! We've got heavy damage to the front of the car, and a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Gasly. Not Gasly, Piastri. Oh my goodness. This session just got way worse. It went from really good to really bad in just a couple of seconds. I can't believe it. I don't know what I was doing there. I should have just ended it. And what am I doing? I just stopped paying attention and drove straight in the wall and took Magnussen out with me. What was I doing? This just went from a really good session to bad to even worse. We're out of qualifying, and we took Kevin Magnussen with us. I mean, there's nothing I can say. We got through into Q2 and then did that. So it's going to be P21 pending grid penalties for us in tomorrow's race.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hijaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits on the Formula One calendar. We're in Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Perez, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Ocon, and Pierre Gasly, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Lando Norris, and Joe, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, and Alex Albon, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Thomas. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused.
So we're starting P21 here. It's just going to be a simple medium to hard strategy. We're going to go a lap later than predicted. And we're just going to head down to the formation lap here. And we'll see how we end up on the pulling into the grid. Onto the grid. Let's see how well we do. Just trying to get some heat in the rear tires here. Lighting them up, and it's going to be an optimal grid spot.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge
We're
on the
gonna head to
surrounding
the
drivers
lights.
as the lights.
Here we go for the 5 red lights for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The lights are out and away we go here from P21, and it's a good start from us. We're gonna immediately try to jump down to this inside lane, down into turn 1. We have a send, but we get blocked in by the 3 wide up ahead of us. Just trying to look for any move here. We're going to try and get around Tsunoda. We do get around the AlphaTauri. Now it's up to P13 for us. Just had to back off. Now Schumacher and Zhou Guanyu up ahead of us side by side. Tsunoda was looking on us. We cut that off. Now we just got to make sure not to run into the back of Schumacher. We don't. We go around his outside though. We get around the Haas. We're now in behind the Alfa Romeo of Zhou Guanyu. As we're on the overtake button here, trying to close in on the Alfa Romeo. And it was a great start from us, P21 up to P12, but nearly a mistake there exiting the hairpin. Nearly got into the barrier, but we're going to hold on to this position over Schumacher. We go in deep though, forced to run off wide, and we do hold on to the spot over the Haas. As we head into lap 2, the Alfa Romeos are now looking as they're battling each other. Zhou Guanyu now trying to take the spot on Bottas. This has really helped us catch up, but Zhou has to back out of it. But we are there on the 2 Alfa Romeos. Can we try and stick our nose in and make something happen against these 2? We're not close enough. As we head down into the hairpin for the second time, looking to the outside of Zhou Guanyu, but just not going to be able to get anything done on the Alfa Romeo. But we have a look, but they're just way too quick on the exit of the corner for us. And we're just going to have to settle back in behind the Alfa Romeo as we get a big moment there, exiting the corner. As now we head into lap 3, we see Bottas trying to make a move up ahead. That's going to check him up though. Zhou Guanyu looking for the move again, not going to be able to get around his teammate. And we're just trying to do whatever we can to keep with these guys up ahead. DRS has been enabled here. We're on lap 4, just trying to make the move on Zhou Guanyu. We're going to have a look here. Not quite there, but we're going to try and get him on the exit. Looking on the Alfa Romeo. We are there, but he's just so quick exiting the corner, and we just are forced to back out to not put ourselves on the outside for this corner, which you can barely go side by side in. We are keeping right there on the Alfa Romeo. DRS now deployed, but they're just so quick in the straight line. There's nothing we can do but send it off into the corner. Way too deep, forced to run wide. Have to catch the car, and now that allows Schumacher to get right on our rear wing. He's looking to the outside. We're going to squeeze the Haas. And we look behind us, and Schumacher's having an engine failure. Schumacher's engine has expired. Heartbreak for the Haas, or for Haas. They have really struggled this weekend. Obviously, Magnussen would have been at a Q1, but got caught up in our accident. But right now, we're just going to try and hold on to P12 over Yuki Tsunoda. Schumacher pulls over to the side. And we now enter lap 5. Now here on lap 5, we have really closed the gap to Zhou Guanyu through the S's. Now we're really there on the Chinese driver, just trying to get whatever we can. DRS enabled, but he's also got DRS on Valtteri Bottas just up ahead. Down in the corner here, this final straight before the main straight. And Zhou Guanyu blows up right in front of us. We keep our foot in it through the pile of smoke. And on lap 5, 2 Ferrari power units are already DNF'd. Our 2 Ferrari power units already have had mechanical failures. First it was Schumacher, now it's Zhou Guanyu. We now jump on to lap 7 as I have closed the gap to Valtteri Bottas up ahead, only about 2/10 to the Alfa Romeo. We're going to see if we can do anything on the exit of the hairpin. No, not close enough, but we are there on the Alfa Romeo. Just trying to make the Finn make any mistakes here. We are still there on the Alfa, nearly into the barrier, trying to keep our foot in the gas. Our foot in the throttle here as DRS is now now deployed. Just trying to close in on Valtteri Bottas, but we're not close enough. Nor do we have the speed in the straight line too. As you can definitely see, look at them gapping us here in the straight line. We just don't have any of the speed in the straight line just yet in this car. But we're trying. As we go down into the final corner later on the brakes. And that allowed us to close back in on Valtteri Bottas now. DRS enabled. We used a bit of overtake now to try and get closer to the Alfa Romeo. Do we think about a dive here? We definitely think about it. Bottas locks up. We're down the inside. Contact! We've got floor damage. And I forgot to mention, I got front wing damage from turning into the wall. We're going to clear the Alfa Romeo, though. But now, this race has gotten even harder with not only the floor damage, but we also have that front wing damage from me being dumb and just turning into the inside wall earlier on in this race. So here's another look at that Bottas incident. He locks up, we're down his inside, and he just tries to take the normal line and turns in and hits us. Just nothing I could do to avoid it. And then we just come back at him around the outside and just left no shot at him keeping his nose in there. But here we are, still on lap 8. Bottas is trying to trying to gain on us. Here we lock up a bit into the final corner. There's contact! We have to jam on the brakes to save the car. Bottas gets through. He hit us, knocked us sideways, got back around us. Bottas is not racing us with any respect here today. We head back down into turn 1, just trying to close the gap back up to the Alfa Romeo. I am not in a good mood at this point. He's just driven through us twice. And I mean, who would be in a good mood after that? He gave us floor damage. He just nearly turned us for a position. And I'm surprised there's no penalty for causing a collision, because he dove it in there in the middle of the corner and just hit us and knocked us sideways. Yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous from Valtteri at this point. He is not racist with any respect. He hit us twice. It would have been one thing if it was just the first time, if we get even more front wing damage just trying to gain on him. And At this point, it's time to box. The front wing is basically gone, and there it is. We're boxing this lap for the hard compound tires. Yeah, it's just unfortunate for us. Just very bad with the damage. And we're gonna be forced to pit on this lap here. As we now come into the pit lane here, yeah, I don't know what Bottas' issue was. We get into the pit lane. Good timing. As we now head into the immersive pit stops. Let's see what it is, and it is an optimal. So, front wing change going to be done. We're going to be putting on the hard compound tires. And this race has just gone from very good to very bad in just like 2 laps. We head out of the pit lane now. We know how hard the hard compound is to warm up. We head on to lap 11 now. We're starting to see some actually scheduled pit stops. And this is going to be very good in seeing where we come out. We come out behind Kevin Magnussen. He's one of the guys we passed right at the start of this race. And now we're behind the Haas, so just going to try and close in while he's on cold tires. We're going to be looking around the outside of the Haas. Oh, a little bit of contact with Kevin Magnussen. We hold on to it. We do get ahead, but after that, we're going to check the wing, and we have a bit of front wing damage from that contact. It's not too bad, but I believe, yeah, lime green on the front wing. So not the end of the world, but it's not going to be very fun to drive with. As now even more drivers come in, let's see where we come out compared to this pack. Bottas is already 4.6 seconds ahead, and we come out behind Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri, but we're in the same situation we were in with Magnussen, just this time we're a lot closer. Yuki on cold tires, we're going to do the exact same move with Kevin Magnussen, but get it done earlier to avoid contact, and we are ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. But now later on in lap 13, Tsunoda's going to get back around us heading into the final quarter. Magnussen looking to our outside. We go back down the inside lockup, and Tsunoda's out. We get heavy damage to the car, but Tsunoda's out of the Grand Prix. We're just going to immediately take a look at the replay here. Here's the onboard from Yuki, here's the look. Tsunoda got by us. We just try to go in way too deep, lock up, and there goes the AlphaTauri's left front wheel. And it was completely my fault. I should not have been going for that dive, but it was just out of desperation at that point. It was a lock up. We look from Kevin Magnussen's view. Completely my fault. Nothing Yuki could have done to avoid that, but we're going to take this time to box in and just jump onto the soft compound tires for a bit. The plan was to get the front wing changed, but that didn't happen. We did not change the front wing on this stop. So I was a little bit upset about that, but I can't do anything with it. So we come back still under the safety car on lap 15. I just decided to come back in. I felt there was going to be enough time for me to do this and catch back up. So we're going to get the front wing changed. We're going to go back onto the hard compound. The used hards. The used mediums, I mean.
Okay, there seems to have been a problem removing the front wing, but we've got to try and put that behind us now and finish the race strong. Get your head down.
As we've had an error removing the front wing, but we're going to just try and finish the race here, go as far as possible on the medium compound and see what happens. So, end of lap 16, the safety car is coming into the pit. We are P19 with the floor damage. We're on the mediums. Everyone else is on hards. As we are back going here in Saudi Arabia, we're going to just try and make the move here on Nicholas Latifi as soon as possible. Down into turn 1, let's see everyone fighting up ahead. We send a dive on Albin and Stroll. Does it work? Yes, it does. Now we're around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo. looking for the move on Lando Norris now. Norris is going to send it in under Vettel, as we're going to just hold on to 14th here. Can we try and make a move here on Lando Norris? We're on very old tires. We have damage to the front wing. Just turned in too early and clipped the wall. And this is really affecting us sideways on the exit. As now Daniel Ricciardo's looking for a move here. We're going to send one in way too deep. We're going to decide to change the strategy, come in at the end of this lap. This race has just gone from really good to just awful in so few laps. I don't even know what to say. Will we ever get luck in this series? It's been 2 races, 2 great shots at having good results, and 2 very unfortunate, very costly in damages races as we get sideways into the barrier again. Albon is gonna get into us and turn us sideways. Big crash. Stroll is into us. He's out. Albon with heavy damage. I don't even know what that was. We just purposely drove by Alexander Albon. We gotta let Piastri by. And it looks like Albon's gonna be retiring with damage here probably. Yes, he is. But I don't even know what that was. I don't know if it was my fault or if it was Albon's fault or a mix of things, but whatever happened, we got even more damage and another safety car as we come into the pit lane. For the 4th time today, it has just not gone well for us here in Jeddah. We went from fighting for P10 to now P16 when we exit the pits. Here goes Valtteri Bottas. It's going to be an optimal turn, and yet again, 7.7 second stop. But, yeah, this race is just falling apart. So, safety car coming in at the end of lap 19. We're going to try and do whatever we can here on Valtteri Bottas as we are back racing here. We're going to make a perfectly timed move on Bottas, but he's just got the straight line speed on us. He doesn't have the floor damage, but we send one down into turn 1, nearly locked up into the back of Lando Norris. Looking around the outside of the McLaren, we get by both McLarens in the first 2 corners, and we're back into P12. We've got a fighting shot at points yet again in this Grand Prix. With 6 laps to go, will we be able to do anything? We are trying to close in on the back of Sebastian Vettel, looking to the outside. We're not going to be there. Still looking on the Aston Martin, though. Into overtake now. Can we make the move on the German? We look around the outside. Do we get a better exit than him on his hards? We wait on the throttle now. Looking around the outside. Not going to be able to get around him. We clip the inside barrier, or the outside barrier. They're just trying to do whatever we can here to hold on to a decent result now. Here we go now, fighting Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo. He's caught back up to us. We run a little bit wide, caught the curb, gets sideways, big save. The Alfa Romeo goes by. And here comes Lando Norris in the McLaren. He's going to be able to make the move on us here. We're going to defend Lando. Easy move around the outside. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo now down our inside. He says when he gets into Lando Norris. Ricciardo into the side of Norris. Piastri looks for the move on us. He's not going to be able to get it. But Bottas is in with Ricciardo. Both drivers come in. Now Piastri looking for the move on us. And we're just not going to really fight too hard with Piastri looking, or never mind, we are going to fight with Piastri this time. Lando Norris, that allows him to pull to about an 0.8 of a second gap between us. But we hold off Piastri for now, here on lap 22. This race has just been chaotic, like always here in Jeddah. And I still can't believe we threw away that point. As we head on to the penultimate lap here, we get sideways big saves, and we're just going to have to let Piastri by. There is no reason fighting our teammate at this point. We're going to let Oscar by and just try and hold on to this 14th place finish. We've got 13 seconds back to Valtteri Bottas, but the car is just not handling well. There is no handling. There's a lot of damage to this car. And basically, the rest of this race is just going to be conserve the car. As we are now halfway through the final lap, it's the Red Bull leading over the Ferraris, I believe. But there's a pass in the final corner, I believe. There is a pass towards the end, and yes, there it is. The Ferrari jumps in, the Red Bull. Carlos Sainz wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix as we get into the barrier a bit. Just kind of not even really looking. Fernando Alonso sets the fastest lap, but Carlos Sainz is a winner in this Formula 1 2020 or 22 career mode. We're gonna come home for our best finish so far in P14 here in Jeddah. Just not much I could have done after the contact with Bottas. After that, our race kind of fell off. Also, it looks like we actually got P13 here, and we get driver of the day. So not too bad of a result.
And that brings the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to a close as we reflect on the team's impressive performance today. What do you think it was today, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition?
Taking care of the car was absolutely vital today. It's been obvious all weekend that the pace was there, but look at the attrition rate we've had. They would have been very concerned about any minor anomaly towards the latter stages of this Grand Prix.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
So there you have it. Carlos Sainz passes Max Verstappen in the final corner to win his first race of the season and take the lead of the championship over Sergio Perez by 6 points over the Mexican driver. I mean, just an amazing race here today in Jeddah. And I still can't believe the fact that we just kind of threw away our shot at points just by, within a little contact fighting for P10.
Let's have a look at the driver's
Carlos Sainz
standings.
wins.
And with his performance
Verstappen
today,
second,
Carlos
Leclerc
Sainz
third.
assumes the top spot in the championship
Sainz is now
standings.
6
Well,
points
after an
ahead of
incredible
Perez.
day of racing, who was
Verstappen and
your
Leclerc
driver of the day,
tied
Ant?
for
I have
third.
to give it to Thomas. They did a great job at getting the most out
We
of
are
their
currently
tyres
ninth
without
in the
losing pace,
constructors.
something that's a very
Highest
handy
of
skill
the
to have in
scoring.
modern-day
Piastri's
Formula 1.
13th in
It's time to
points.
check out the
We're
constructors'
17th in
standings.
points.
Ferrari
But
take the lead
thank
at
you
the
for
top of the
watching this
table.
second
Meanwhile,
episode
good work from
of
Aston
the
Martin
My
this
Team Career
weekend,
Mode.
who pushed themselves
Tune
further
in
up the
next
order.
time for
And
race
with that,
3
we wrap up another
around
weekend
Australia.
of motorsport.